to the
I'm Fat Podcast.
Snacks are best saved for later.
With Jay Zawoski.
That man ate all our shrimp and 2 plastic lobsters.
And Rick Camp.
Out the mist came a beast more stomach than man.
Welcome into another edition of the I'm Fat Podcast, brought to you by our sponsors, Charlie the Baking Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, Fredo's Culinary Kitchen, and Nick and Ivy Brewing. Once again, we are doing this live on the YouTubes on Sunday night. I am Rick Camp alongside fellow fat Jay Zawoski. Jay, it's been a nice week overall, kind of a confusing week, which we'll get into, but
yes.
We do at least have, we've got plenty to get to today.
Yes, we do. A lot to get to. Make sure you're following us on all of our social medias at I'm Fat Pod, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Put a review of the Culver's hot honey curds on there, on all of those today. We're going to talk about them in more detail on today's show, but check that out. Make sure you like all those videos. You found our YouTube page if you're watching us live. If you've not found us yet, youtube.com/I'm Fat Podcast. This is going to be the plan going forward, to do these live on Sunday nights. They're a lot of fun. We get some feedback. We get some live Ask-A-Fats, and it's frankly good for the YouTube channel to do these sort of things. So if you're around Sunday nights, watching Sunday Night Football, whatever, throw us on in the background, and we'll be there. And of course, when we're done, the episode just lives on YouTube, so you can go watch it at any time. So please start doing that. Start liking any videos you see coming out of our YouTube, including those YouTube shorts that are really important for growing the page. We're doing a lot more of those lately. So always like, always subscribe, all those sort of things really, really help us out. We've got merch, imfatmerch.com. I believe there's a sale going on right now. I think it's like a bundling sale, something a little different.
Okay.
So go check that out, imfatmerch.com. And if you want to email us, imfatpod@gmail.com, and the fat phone to leave us any of your food confessions or queries, 708-858-3314. And Rick, last week, I failed in many ways, as I always do. I failed to mention our friends at Fredo's Culinary Kitchen, so they're going to double today, and I'm going to start the show with it because I'm an ass. I'm sorry, Fredo's. I love you. Sorry for being stupid and forgetful. You want to go check them out for the I'm Fat Burger, the I'm Fat Grilled Cheese, the I'm Fat Pizza, all the great I'm Fat stuff. But it's not just that. There's always just fantastic deals going on. Right now, they've got buy one chicken burger, get one free. It is awesome. They've got regular or halal chicken, unbreaded or fried. That's our people. Yep. There's even a veggie option. No, that's not your thing. It's a deal to not miss. Check out their chicken burgers. They are fantastic at Fredo's Pizza. Go to fredospizza.com and check them out. Place an online order. Use the code I'm Fat, and you'll save 10% more on Fredo's coming up later. But sorry very much, Fredo's, for missing last week's. And you want to plug something too, Rick? Or I actually want you to plug something.
Oh,
yeah. I twist your arm a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I was actually going to just do this at the end. So for those that either didn't make it to the end of last week's episode or haven't done anything about it yet, if you're interested in basketball or betting or making money or any of that stuff, I have a thing I'm doing on my own called Fat Stacks with Camp.
Got something for you.
Boom. There are low rates, but hopefully with high profits on this.
There we go.
So through the end of October, you can sign up for Fat Stacks with Camp. You can literally go to any of my social media profiles, and the link is there to be able to sign up. Use promo code FATSTACKS, all caps, and you get the rest of the month for free. See all my plays for the preseason, early in the season, and even now for I'm Fat Podcast listeners, I will give you one of my plays that I have for the Bulls game. For the Bulls game, opening night on Wednesday. So even if you're listening to this, it's a bet that can still be made. Whether the odds move, I don't know between now and then.
Can I guess the wager?
Sure.
Will you be able to watch the game? Over under.
No.
Plus minus 350. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No is minus 300. So no, that is not it. So because as we know, the Bulls not supposed to be good. And especially they don't have people that can play defense on the outside against guards. DeJounte Murray is the new point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans do not start a traditional center. So he's going to be able to get where he wants on offense. And there's just a lot of volume on rebounds that are kind of left up in the air because their starting center last year averaged double digits. And Zion's their center now, and he's not a great rebounder. They play a lot of small guys. Murray, when he was in San Antonio, he had a lot of rebounds. Last couple of years in San Antonio, 7.1, 8.3. In those, long story short, I'm swinging for the moon a little bit on this one, so do not put a full unit on it. Whatever you normally bet, cut that in like a quarter for this. DeJounte Murray to get a triple-double against the Bulls is 30-1.
Ooh, see, I like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff you get from Rick on Fat Stacks.
So check it out. You have time to do it for free. If you want to keep going, then awesome. Hopefully I can earn your business. And if not, there is an opt-out too. But hopefully you like what you see. And, you know, if it's going to be when it's pay, it's $30 a month. But I'm hoping if everybody's average wager is $10, $20, something like that, we're going to be more than plus 3 units. So a unit is what your average bet size is, more than plus 3 units every month. That's the goal, because I want people to be profitable and have fun in the Discord, be able to talk about basketball.
Love it. Great. I will do that for all my basketball bets.
Yes. Big time better for Jay, big time basketball guy. I mean, I couldn't be more up your alley.
Well, good thing we connect on other things.
Yeah, right.
Like food.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, howdy, I had some food today.
Yeah.
Took Addie Addie has a pitching lesson in St. John, Indiana. So drive her out there. No use in going back to Homewood and then going back. I just have to like basically do a U-turn. So had some time to kill. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit up Culver's. I'm going to try the hot honey cheese curds from Culver's. And I was so ravenous, Rick, that I failed to take a photo. So I had to actually go in to the video that I recorded for our social medias and take a screen cap of me holding a cheese curd. So, so there you have it for the YouTube page. That's what they look like. You can see same shirt. It was today, no lies. Definitely a redder breading than your standard cheese curd. Very similar to how the Wendy's nugget and the Wendy's spicy nugget are different colors.
Yes.
Very much so. Good crunch. Not hot where you're going to be like spicy.
Okay.
But it lingers. It stays. There is some heat to it. It's more on the back end than anything. I will say, didn't get a massive honey taste.
Okay.
But it's probably in there a little more subtle. There is a little bit of sweetness that I think maybe gets cut back a little bit by the cheese. But these were outstanding. If I had to choose one of these to stay, the Curger Burger or the hot honey cheese curds, I would pick the hot honey cheese curds.
Wow. Yeah,
they were really, really good. I loved them.
How do you like them compared to the traditional cheese curd that they have?
I think I like them better because I usually opt for spicy anyway on stuff. So, you know, Wendy's, it's a spicy chicken. Culver's, I'm usually going for the spicy tenders.
Right.
I always opt towards spicy. So I do like these better because they did have a nice kick and there's a really good crunch to them. The breading is different. It's not the same exact breading.
Oh, okay.
As the regular Culver's cheese curd. But you know, it's a different batter, so it's not going to be identical.
Sure.
But
is it closer
really
to like a tender batter type deal, or is it somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, I would. If I'm trying to find something similar, I would say like a beer batter.
Okay.
It's not a beer batter, but I'm talking in terms of texture.
Sure.
Kind of that like a soft crunch, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like it's almost like a fish and chips kind of a batter.
Gotcha.
Then it's closer to like a panko that you would sort of find on the original curd. I thought they were great. I was going to save maybe half a dozen for Addie, and I'm like,
nope.
F that. I'm eating all these. And then wash it down with the diet root beer. I love the freaking diet root beer from Culver's. It's so damn good. So yeah, I love the hot honey cheese curds. I talked last week. I like the Curger Burger. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a little better in concept than it is in execution. But the hot honey cheese curds totally delivered. I think they beat my expectation
Nice.
I loved them. And I probably should have done the review after I ate, like, because I try to do the review like where I eat the first one and then like, okay, here's my reaction to it.
Sure.
But with the spice, it needed a little more time for the spice to really hit, for the spice to really kick. And then once it did, it was like, oh shit, this is really, really good.
Nice.
So yeah, I really enjoyed them. I'm sure you will too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they did not arrive October 1st.
No.
So hopefully they don't just cut these off on November 1st or whatever. I hope they keep them a little bit longer because they're damn good. And I could see them becoming a permanent menu item.
Okay. So here's a follow-up that we got sent from the Culver's Insider.
Oh.
Who said, glad you enjoyed the hot honey curds, Jay. Unfortunately, these are not going to become permanent. They will remain a limited time offer.
Boo. Well, I hope they at least extend it for a month because I feel like no one's going to, like, people who were really excited about these things probably went in there early, like October 1st or 2nd, to get the Curder Burger.
Sure.
And to try the hot honey cheese curds. And I'm afraid people have forgotten about them.
Yeah.
Hopefully a little bit of push from us changes that. But I hope they stay longer than at least till the end of the month because they're definitely worth a month look and people are going to love them.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to get them this week because I'm going to need to treat myself this week at some point. So it's just going to happen.
Yeah. I literally made a special trip. I'm like, when am I going to have a chance between now and tonight to try these? I'm like, there's one right here. I literally said, navigate to the nearest Culver's as I pulled out of the driveway of Eddie's pitching lesson, and they were great.
Okay.
And Charlie has a question for us too.
I was just going to say that's a great question.
Would you switch out a hot honey curd patty on the Curder Burger? Yes. Because I think part of what gets lost with the Curder Burger is you don't really taste it. It's more of a textural thing and like the melted cheese thing, but I'm not getting a little bit of
like almost like a garlicky with it too. But I could see that where like the heat kind of cuts through some of like the everything else that's happening on the burgers. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's very good. I would love that. Hot honey everything, please.
Yeah.
And I know our buddy Russ commented on one of the posts too that he's glad it wasn't like drizzled in hot honey. It's not.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised though that it didn't come with a side of hot honey. Because I think, or even just honey.
Sure.
I think that would have really knocked it out of the park. Because I do love. Ever have like a McDonald's chicken McNugget dipped in honey?
I don't think I have.
It's great. It's really, really good. The problem is I asked for it and then they give me honey mustard.
Oh.
Because I think it's pretty rare that people ask for the honey. I think they have it for tea mostly. So yeah. And Ben, who just joined in, says, how much honey flavor is in there, or is it more spicy? I don't like honey, but I love spicy. Then you will love these. The honey is very subtle if it's there at all, and the spice is there. So yeah, Ben, you will certainly enjoy these. They were
nice.
They were awesome. I loved them. I might get some tomorrow.
There you go. So my first thing this week is what the hell's going on with this weather?
Yeah, dude.
Like we were talking gleefully about, sure, short season is going away, but like it's a price to pay, but to be able to not really deal with sweating or anything like that anymore. And then all of a sudden this weekend in the Chicagoland area, we're getting like 70s. Do we touch 80 today? We might have.
I don't know if we actually hit the number, but as you're the ant under the microscope in your vehicle,
yes,
it was probably 85 in my car until I turned the air on. And
like how many people got screwed because they were thinking it's car fridge weather, and then something that they were hoping would stay cold in the car ends up not so.
No, and this is predictable. It happens every year, and it's happened. With the shift in climate, winter is coming later. Like I think did we talk about this last week where it didn't really get cold and snowy until like late January last year?
Yeah.
Except for Halloween when it snowed.
Of course.
Last year, which is totally normal. But the problem is, and I was tweeting about this week, we get in a mindset in Chicago of it's fall. I am in fall mode. Everything
Yes.
around me is indicating fall, from football to the
Mhm.
leaves to the cuisine at restaurants to everything. I am in fall freaking mode. I'm in hot coffee mode. I'm in soup and chili mode, all these things. And the switch back is like, yeah, I'm done with iced coffee for a few months,
Yeah.
you know? And the same thing happens in April. The first day it hits like 55.
Oh yeah.
People are out in tank tops and shorts and it's cold as hell. You know what I mean? Like, but it's
Yeah.
just, it's that mindset of I am here mentally. I have made the switch mentally,
Mhm.
and going back sucks.
Yeah, I was into, you know what? It's jeans weather now. I paid my respects to shorts for the year. And then all of a sudden this weekend, having to break out the shorts again. And yeah, I was not expecting. I guess it's kind of a pleasant surprise, but I don't know, man. It's too close to like getting the start of like we didn't get enough of a reprieve from it to then appreciate it when it comes back for a couple days. So I think that's maybe my issue. But yeah, this like borderline sweating. Like I went and got my hair cut yesterday, and the barber had to like put some of the powder up here because I was beaten up a little bit. And I feel bad because I don't want him to have to like put his hand on my sweat or anything, deal with any of that crap. So yeah, it was a thing. And like it's never gonna be this way because it's the Chicagoland area, but like pick a lane.
Yeah. Well, so it's funny. I went to Oakbrook today because we just haven't had a lot of family time to spend together. I had a Sunday off with no bears,
Mhm.
and the women there were very confused. Like there were women in like big puff coats, like
Sure.
it's Gore-Tex, like George Costanza,
Yeah.
and then there were girls in like shorts and tank tops,
Mhm.
and like no one really knew. And this is what I had my t-shirt, I had jeans on. And I was like, all right, I'm a little warm, but I'm surviving.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just every day you don't know what it's going to be. It is, I will say, it does still get nice and cool at night.
This is true.
So the sleeping weather's top notch. But dude, I loved earlier this week when it was like in the 50s during the day.
Mhm.
Sleep with the window open. And then our bed is up against the window. So I sleep
Yeah.
like this. I put my arm under. So a couple times a night, my arm gets like freezing cold and I have to switch arms. I
Yeah.
don't care. I love that. I love sleeping cold.
Right.
So I
Okay.
welcome it back.
So looking at the old weather app, I got 79 today in Hanover Park,
Okay.
78 tomorrow. Then it dips 71. We're in the 60s. We touch the 50s, and then 70 again next Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. And next Tuesday is Halloween? No.
Yeah. I
Because
don't even know
let's
what
see.
day today is.
No, so it would be a
No.
week from Wednesday would be Halloween
Ye-
or Thursday.
a week from
To
Thursday.
the internet. A week from Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay. And I believe it's supposed to be high 60s. So
I'm happy when it's like 60s and
Sure.
like decent for like kids for trick or treating. So that way it's not like here's what I'm supposed to be, but here's also a winter coat on top of it.
yeah.
You know.
So Addie is going to be a Care Bear. So she
Okay.
has like a big zip up onesie. She's going to be hot.
Yeah.
But fine. You've not had a Halloween in your place yet, have you?
We did, but
Like barely?
neither of us were home, so we just put out a bowl, and then someone took the bowl at some point. And was a
Okay.
jerk. So
So
you know.
we have a very active neighborhood.
Mhm.
So this week, Hope and I went to Costco, and I got
Nice.
4 giant Kirkland bags.
Oh, that's right. Because last year you had to make emergency runs, right?
Yes, and I
Yeah.
was the guy who I panicked.
Oh,
And
no.
I ran out of candy, and Hope was out getting more, and I panicked, so I started like bagging loose Fannie Mae. Just like, here, kid, here's 4
Getting back
buttercreams.
home, and their parents are like, "There's no way in hell you're eating this from this predator that was handing you candy."
I know. I just panicked. I was like, I don't want to make this kid sad. I'm very
Yeah.
worried about this. And I was like, she's on her way. She'll be here any minute. Here's what I got right now. Have some. And they're like, no. Okay, I'll throw it in my bag and then throw it away when I get home.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
hey, it was legit Fannie Mae. I mean,
Okay.
if you trusted me, you would have been very happy. But Yeah, we're way more prepared this year, but even still, I think every bag's like 315 pieces, maybe.
Okay.
And I'm still kind of like,
You think you're gonna go through 1,000 pieces of candy? 1,200?
I give every kid at least 2.
Okay.
And then if I know a kid, I'll just
Mhm.
grab a handful and chuck it
Yeah.
in there. Like if they coach them in softball or they're a friend of
Sure.
Baddies or whatever. Or if they have like a good costume, or if they're an older kid that is enthusiastic about trick-or-treating,
Yes.
they get extra.
Not the kid that shows up as a bum and just like
Yes.
it's just like give me candy.
And they just like hold their
Right.
bag. I'm like, here you go. Here's one Smartie.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, kid.
Right. You it'll feel like that when you get Smarties. I know you like them,
I
but
love
like,
Smarties.
I know you do.
You know what I should do though, Rick?
Huh.
For the adults,
Yeah.
I should hand out Nick and Ivy beers.
That'd be a great idea.
Trick or treat at our house, you'll get some of the great Nick and Ivy beers. And if you've not tried our friends at Nick and Ivy Brewing, what are you waiting for? Oh, it's out south. I'm scared. I can't go south of Roosevelt. No one lives that way. Yes, they do. And you're missing out on great stuff. I'm looking at the tap list right now. They've got the beer dart. Oh, I've had the beer dart. It's amazing. It's the American Light Lager. The Nick of Time Peanut Butter Cup. Isn't that enough information for you? The Nick of Time Caramel with sea salt. Are you still here? You're not in your car yet? Okay. There's so many great beers going on right now at Nick and Ivy. As always, go visit them right there in beautiful downtown Lockport, 1026 South State Street. You can find them online, nickivybrewing.com. Their Facebook page is full of information, NIKAND IVY Brewing on Facebook. Tons of stuff going on this morning. They had yoga, which is $20 for an hour of yoga and a Nick and Ivy pint. That's a great deal. And they're starting to sell old-fashioned bourbon cocktails with Whiskey Acres. So if you're not a beer person, they've got the Whiskey Acres Old Fashioned, which is Whiskey Acres Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Whiskey Acres Barrel Char Simple Syrup, Angostura Bitters, Angostura Orange Bitters, Luxardo Cherry, yes, please, and Orange Peel, hell yes.
Yes.
Sign me up for that. So if you're not a beer guy, they've got old fashions for you. Go check them out, Nick and Ivy Brewing, right there in downtown Lockport, 1026 South State Street. I promise you're going to like it. The atmosphere is great. There's no douche vibes in that place. Like, it is welcoming. It's a very cool spot. You'll love it. Go visit our friends at Nick and Ivy.
So, I mean, I just went before, but I was trying to be courteous.
We should take turns.
I don't really care.
Guess where I went today? In Oak Brook. We went to Lazy Dog.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Addie had never been there. By the way, walked in the door.
Yeah.
2 Great Danes.
Oh.
Are like at the, because you can bring dogs to the outside part of
nice.
Lazy Dog. That's the whole point. And but you had to go through the inside to get outside.
Sure.
2 massive Great Danes. They were amazing. Like, they both went to me like, give me pets now.
Yeah.
And I came home and Bailey was very upset, but whatever.
Got the scent.
Big time.
You were getting smelled up and down.
Yes, absolutely. And I kind of smell anyway, just in general. Address for Lazy Dog, 1775 West 22nd Street in Oak Brook. You've been there, Rick.
Yep.
One thing about it is
Costco. It's right by the Costco.
Yeah, like the menu there is
giant,
huge, and like somewhat, I will say it's like somewhat overwhelming.
Yes,
because it's salads, burgers, fish. They have like wok and noodles, and it's there's so much going on there. Last time I went, I got a burger. This time I went, I got the beer battered fish and chips.
Nice,
buddy. These were outstanding. They were so delicious. I love a good fish and chips. They got the double battered fries, and you get 4 good sized cod fillets.
Yeah.
Perfectly fried, perfectly tender. Sometimes you'll get fish and chips that are well fried on top and then like kind of wet and not fully cooked on the bottom.
And also less phallic looking.
Somewhat less phallic looking than these. Okay. Yes. But these were fully cooked all the way around, consistently battered. Absolutely great. Next up, Hope got the Nashville hot chicken and waffles salad, which is healthy because it's a salad.
Sure.
As you can see, there's 2 like probably silver dollar size waffles there with honey, and then a big, I think, or maybe 2 of those pieces of chicken, Nashville hot chicken on there. Addie got the dirty cola, which is what I was trying to find in Utah at that place Swig. That's all the rage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they have these at Lazy Dog. This is a picture of the root beer cream, which is just root beer and vanilla cream. It tastes just like a root beer float, but it doesn't have the ice cream in it, obviously.
Yeah.
Before that, she had the Coke with coconut and lime.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure what to expect. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really damn good. For whatever reason, when we were in Salt Lake City, we just didn't have time to get to try that place, Swig. These are the same exact things, and they were delicious. I was skeptical, like, okay, this is a gimmick.
Sure.
Whatever. I was blown away by how good these were. We're going to try to recreate them at home, so try those. And then she also got the Mediterranean lemon chicken bowl, which is rice, cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, and some good lemon chicken. She loved it. Everybody loved their food. So if you've never been to Lucky Dog, I always say Lucky Dog, Lazy Dog, out there in Oak Brook. Addie, when we pulled up, Addie goes, "What does this place have?" I said, "Yes."
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever your taste is, they're going to have it. And all of it was good. Both experiences have been really good. It's not cheap. I think the three of us, and so three of us had entrees. I had a Diet Coke, Hope had a Diet Coke, and then Addie had two of those dirty sodas. I think the tab was like 70, and with tip, it was like 95.
Okay.
So I knew it was going to be a pricier meal, but that was for dinner. The lunch options are smaller and cheaper. So, but I would say like money's worth. I didn't feel at any point that I was not getting a value for what if you can justify $100 meal for fish and salad, but it just kind of is what it is these days. So no complaints. I knew it was going to be expensive. It's about what I expected. Maybe actually a little bit cheaper. So it was good service, super nice people. And if you have a dog, you can bring them into the outdoor part, which is cool.
Nice. When I go there, especially the first time, I got the grilled 5 cheese, which was, it's just a grilled cheese, but cheddar, Swiss, mozzarella, Jack, and Parm on sourdough toast.
Yeah, that was definitely on the radar. The other thing I was eyeing was the pie pan nachos.
Yeah.
But I knew I was starving. So I Googled pie pan nachos, Lazy Dog, and it didn't look quite big enough to satiate me. So I didn't get that.
Okay.
But next time, I mean, it's going to become a go-to. It's a place we really, really like. So yeah, check it out. Lazy Dog out there in Oak Brook. I'll give you the address again. 1775 West 22nd Street, right by the Costco. Like the other cool thing about them, by the way, before we move on, you can buy to go like TV dinners.
Really?
Yeah, like they've got these to go TV dinners. I wish I could find them now. I can't find them on the website, but you can and they're like pre-made. So you just pick them up and then take them and throw them, and they're frozen. And then when you're ready for them, you just heat them up. So they're like elevated TV dinners.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, the place that I went to this week has not quite, they have like a lot of slushy options, which mind you, I did not partake in because we were just kind of in a rush when we went there. So I felt bad about that. Atlas Chicken is there's the OG locations in Geneva on 3rd Street. That one's 511 South 3rd Street. The one we went to was in Bartlett, 1048 Army Trail Road. And this is like just high quality chicken. You can get it just looking at like the website. Like we just got a meal of like tenders, fries, mac and cheese, and rice balls.
I was wondering what those were.
Yeah. So just like a creamy rice ball that's like a good amount of fry, but not like overwhelmingly so.
Okay.
Like and I think that's kind of true throughout, is that like the level of fry that they get is very good. The pieces of chicken are not like huge, but they're very good. I had the barbecue sauce and I loved it. Like it was a little closer to like a smoky or think upgraded Burger King with a twang.
Okay.
A little bit. So much better than the Burger King sauce, but like has a little bit of something to it as well.
Hey,
And
BK's got good sauce. Like their barbecue sauce, and from what I understand, their ranch is phenomenal.
yeah. So that's like that was good. The rice balls were fantastic. Like there were 3 of them in the order, and Sam and I each had one, and we were looking at each other like, how are we gonna do this for the third one? So we did end up splitting it.
You Lady in the Tramp style.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but the creaminess that's in there almost seems like similar to the color of like the mac and cheese. So I'm sure it's just like that same cheese that's in there as well.
Okay.
And it's just so good. And the other thing too was the like this is could be like a fast casual type place, but a lot of people do sit in there. They had a live band going. There's a golden tea machine, TV, like the atmosphere was top notch, but also it was the
Live bands always make me.
yeah. Well, it wasn't a band. It was a person with a guitar.
Oh, okay, fine.
Singing.
Good. Yes.
So small stage, not the largest place in the world, but so like, but they had like enough square footage where there was probably, I don't know, 15 tables that they were
Okay.
able to have there. So, and I could even be underestimating it a little bit, but just the manager or owner, whoever it was that was trying to run between the register and then maybe running people's food was also like just kind of keeping an eye on everybody, checking in, see how, without even saying like, oh, looks like you need this. Here's this. You should try this. Oh, let me get you a refill, even though it's not an expectation at that place for other people to get your refill. Like,
Nice.
just, yeah, even when it wasn't super slow, just like being able to do like just enough for everybody to check in on them, even when it is a fast casual environment, was very, very cool. The chicken was awesome. Like, would I say it's the best chicken I've ever had? I don't know, probably not, but like a real good chicken. So you can get it either as tenders, you can get like a sandwich, you can do a bowl with like, kind of like a build your own bowl type thing. You can get it in a box like we did. They've got all the sides, like the fried rice ball is Chihuahua cheese with poblano peppers.
Oh, hell yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very good. They've got different slaws that you can get if that's your type of thing. They got rice and beans, pickles. Like there's a ton of options, especially like sauces too. Looking at the websites, you can get boozy drinks, non-boozy slushies, like all that stuff is plenty of options. And like, it's a welcoming place. And it's kind of unassuming in that way, where you wouldn't expect them to have booze there or, like all these other things where you can tell there's like more than just your basic chicken place there, but they just know what they're going to do and they're going to do it well.
That's great. I mean, look, it's impossible to pretty much call anywhere the best chicken you've ever had because freaking everybody makes it.
Right.
But if it's solid, if it's consistent, if it's a good value, if it's well prepared, like I'm also under the impression chicken can only be so great.
Yes, I'm there with you.
Yeah. But hey, if it's even in the conversation, it's a good spot. So that's good. All right. Atlas Chicken. You said you were in Bartlett, 1048 Army Trail Road. All right.
Correct.
We'll add it to the I'm Fat map as we do with all these places. Earlier in the show, we mentioned Costco. And I sent you the picture this week. I'm sorry. This is from Jewel. Let's do Jewel first. My bad. I got my two places mixed up. At the Jewels this week, just doing like the weekly shopping.
Sure.
We walked through the butcher area, and I noticed they have this big. They had like 4 or 5 of these in a cooler. It was a big like styrofoam plate with a big ass chuck roast.
Yeah,
like a 2-pound chuck roast, and then a bag of like potatoes and carrots, and then a bag of like seasoning and herbs and spices and stuff.
Yeah,
and you literally take this whole thing, dump it in your crock pot, and you get beef stew.
Oh.
And speaking of shifting into cold mode, I was in cold mode.
Yeah.
Hope actually did most of the work on this just because I was at work most of the day. But this is right out of our crock. We have an Instant Pot, same thing, but right out of our Instant Pot. The potatoes were tender. The carrots were soft. The beef was great. We actually made mashed potatoes because we just wanted to I wanted to make the beef last a little bit because I made pot roast sandwiches this week, and it went a long way. So we made this Monday. I finished it off yesterday for
Okay.
lunch. And Addie had a serving or two as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was $18.99 for all of that.
Oh, wow.
So great deal. And I'm telling you, man, we put it in. I think you had to add a little bit of water, like maybe half a cup or a cup of water just to help it cook.
Yeah.
But Hope's like, all right, you should take because for those that don't know, my wife does not eat beef.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you should take this out and you should shred it. I'm like, yeah. So I get a couple forks out, take the tongs, and I lift the chuck roast out of the Instant Pot, and it just falls apart.
Nice.
I had to do like 2 or 3 pulls, like in some of the fattier parts, but fall apart tender, delicious, flavorful because of the herbs and spice mix that comes with it. The only thing is, next time I do this, I'm probably going to add more potatoes and carrots.
Okay.
Just because I just think it makes it heartier, a little bit. And they gave you some, but not a ton. There were probably maybe like a dozen baby carrots in there and like 4 or 5 little small potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you could just add them on your own. It was great. And again, for $18.99, that got us like 3 or 4 full meals.
Oh,
and then I went, before I had the pot roast sandwich, I just went and bought some of the S. Rosen's brioche rolls that they have at the deli at Jewel.
Yeah.
I threw that in a toaster for 1 minute just to get the bread warm and a little bit crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it was outstanding. And any idiot can do it. Just dump it in a crock pot and let it cook for a few hours and you're good to go. I think Hope Instant Pots cook faster. I think she threw it in at like 3 and we ate it at 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know a crock pot would probably take 7 or 8 hours probably, but throw it in the morning and then come home from work and you got dinner.
Boy, that's got to be really nice. You can hop out of your Mazda CX-30 right inside, have that. And it's just an overall satisfying experience.
It is a very good, satisfying experience. And that's the best part of being a Mazda owner is driving home and eating food. But the second best part is the service and care you get from our friends at Mazda of Orland Park. Good segue, Rick. Go get yourself a brand new Mazda. Like Rick said, I drive the 2022 CX-30. I also have a 2015 Mazda CX-5. Love them both. I will be a Mazda customer for life. Not only because they're great vehicles, which they are, but they also, the service experience at Mazda of Orland Park and the ownership experience has been amazing. They're located 8910 West 159th Street in Orland Park, right by the Dunkin' right there, just west of the new Joey's Red Hots. You can't miss it. Mazda of OrlandPark.com. Hit them up. Ask for our buddy Eric Vates. He'll get you squared away with a test drive or anything you need to know. But what I also love too is when I'm in there for service and people are coming in to look. They get greeted at the door. Hey, can I help you out today? No, I'm just here looking. Great. My name is so-and-so. I'm right here. If you need me, come find me. I'm happy to help out. In the meantime, enjoy the showroom. Grab yourself a drink. Hang out. We're here to answer any questions you have. And that's it. They're not hounding you. They're not up your ass trying to sell you a car. They just let you go in there, check out what you got. And if you do have any questions or you're ready to buy or do a test drive, they're going to be right there for you, helpful, ready to go. And then once you buy, the ownership experience is unbeatable. So check them out, Mazda of OrlandPark.com.
So I have to go kind of heel here. Against people that would usually be considered like my people, our people.
Okay.
So I think everybody saw that Rosati's this week had their 60th anniversary.
Yes.
And as a result, their deal was on that day, 14-inch pizzas, 2 toppings for $3.50. A very, very good deal.
Yes.
Worth waiting in a short line for. Maybe even a moderate line. However, I'm going to get at some people. And by some people, I mean 2 of the people that I work with as well. That were in line for the entire afternoon. In line for multiple hours to get 1 cheap pizza. Now, I realize this is a pretty significant discount.
Yeah.
I'll grant you that. I'm the guy that waited in line for free barbecue for a year. I waited for multiple hours. Like there are pictures. There's
but again,
obviously a famous picture.
You waited in line for what?
Free barbecue for a year.
Yes, not a $3.50 pizza one time.
Exactly.
Okay.
And mind you, this was $50. Like barbecue for a year was $50 a month. So essentially $600 of free barbecue.
That's still very good.
Yes. Compared to something that's like $20 being $3.50 one time. Why are we in line this long? And it's also not like I like Rosati's. Like I am very happy anytime I get Rosati's.
Mhm.
But it's not the best stuff either. And you're waiting in line for like 3 hours, 4 hours. Friends, I get wanting to be out of work. When I'm your coworker, I get wanting to be out of work.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah. But what are we doing here?
Well, Rick, I got to call bullshit on you because our intrepid reporter, Russ, and his friend Daniel,
Yeah.
sent us a photo
Yeah.
of that looks like you in line at Rosati's. Some wonderful Photoshop work.
Oh,
from
God,
our own paid
that's
producer,
funny.
Russ Schneider. Rick was
That's
not there.
great.
Rick would not have a blanket on in 70-degree October.
God,
But
man,
Russ and Daniel sent us this picture, so we had to share it as I knew you were
That's
bringing this up.
really funny.
I will tweet this out as well at I'm Fat Pod after the show. But
Yeah.
very well done. I like how they got the graininess of the photo to match.
Yeah, right.
Really, it's just
perfect.
top notch photo work. For those of you not on YouTube, this is the picture of Rick actually waiting outside Real Urban Barbecue, cropped out and placed in front of the line at Rosati's. This is brilliant. I love it. Thank you, Russ. And that is so funny. And by the way, I was at my mom's house that day, and I was telling her about this, and I'm like, well, there's one here. Like, we might as well call.
Yeah.
So I called. Busy. Fifth time I get through, and I'm on hold for 20 minutes. And my mom, not to go dark here, but my mom has dementia. She's like, "What are you on the phone for?" I go, "The Rosati's pizza." She goes, "I don't want pizza." I'm like, "Great, okay." So I just hang up the phone. I'm like, "We'll find something else to get." You wanted pizza 15 minutes ago, but all of a sudden, you're like, "What? I don't want pizza. Who said I want pizza?"
Yeah.
No one, Mom. No problem.
Just,
So
that's
yeah.
great.
But I was like, this is gonna be a while. And then even if I had gotten through, it
It
probably would
would
have been
take
yeah.
forever to get
Well, they got their name out there, which is really what they wanted.
Yeah.
I hope that people look when you sign up for something like this, it's gonna be a wait. It's not gonna be like, oh, I called and they picked up and my $3.50 pizza was ready in 20 minutes.
Right.
No,
Yeah, it's one thing if it's a pickup thing and it's like you don't have to be there the entire time.
Yeah, right. Well,
But man, I'm sorry. That's a lot even for me.
dude, just go to Little Caesars and get the $5 pizza. It's there. It's hot and ready every day, and you get crazy bread.
Yes.
It's not even that bad, by the way.
No, it's not.
It's not. Well, if you want the best pizza, we're going to do our double up here.
Yeah.
Get the I'm Fat Pizza at Fredo's. Right?
It's phenomenal.
That's all you need to know. Fredo'sPizza.com. Use the code I'm Fat, and you'll save 10% on your online order. But I want to take a little detour here away from Fredo's Pizza proper and tell you about their personal chef services. So let's say you're the leader of a union and you want to feed your staff after a couple months of hard and stressful work. Instead of ordering a bunch of catering and having to set it up and clean it up and all that stuff, call Fredo's, get their personal chef services. They'll do all the work for you. And guess what? It's food from Fredo's.
Yes.
So everybody's happy. Burp. No one has to clean.
Drink.
Just talking about Fredo's, man. Just gets the guts going. It's outstanding. And great chefs work at Fredo's. It's not just your typical run-of-the-mill hot dog and burger stand. It is top-notch food, and it's going to be prepared by the great people at Fredo, so it's going to be wonderful. I catered a party from them a few years ago. People are still talking about it. Unbelievable. It's going to be great. Go to Fredo'sPizza.com, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see info about the chef services. Hit them up for anything. Christmas is coming up, Thanksgiving, all those sort of things. They serve up great, and it's going to be done really, really well from our friends at Fredo's. All right, now on to the Costco thing. My cousin Nick and his wife Liza, they just had their housewarming, and they had a party. Okay. They moved to Palos Heights, like just right where I was basically living. And they had these cheese puffs, like Cheetos cheese puffs,
Mhm.
Nothing complicated. But Hope and I were like, damn, these are extra good for some reason. Like these are better than what we usually get.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh yeah, I got them at Costco. So I went to Costco trying to find them, looking around, like, you know how usually they're like around the back of the frozen part, all the
Sure.
chips. Couldn't find them. Walk out to the aisle and I found them. They're Annie's homegrown extra cheddar cheesy smiles. They were and are. I still have some, amazingly, probably because it's the Costco bag. Absolutely great. Giant bag, huge bag. You know, I'm doing this. It's probably like an 18-inch bag.
Okay.
And 2/3 of it is not air. And
Nice.
they're delicious. And if you're at Costco, grab a bag of these. You'll be very, very pleased. Nothing overly fancy, but in terms of cheese curls, whatever you want to call them, cheese puffs, the best I've ever had. So get those. It's at Annie's Organic brand. They make like fruit snacks and cookies and all sorts of stuff. They have the bunny on them.
Yes.
These are the cheesy cheddar smiles from Annie's.
Smiles.
I think they're available everywhere, but Costco's got the big ass bag of them. So go find those.
All right, I've got one more thing.
Okay.
And this will hit people of a certain age. By that I mean like kind of mine-ish, in the feels.
Okay.
That are you aware of now, mind you, this is probably me showing my ass of not being aware of it, of Steam.
Yes, the gaming, the PC gaming platform, right?
Exactly. Backyard Baseball got added to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a staple growing up for many people.
Pablo Sanchez, baby.
You're goddamn right, Pablo Sanchez. You know what? And that's what I just wanted to bring up, just like do the thing where guys just standing around and like naming players. So it's like, okay, Pablo Sanchez. I'll give you another one who could be, like could be considered a fat if we were going to be like, let's try and name a couple. I mean, Pablo's shirt doesn't even reach down, which respect. Keisha Phillips is a monster in the league that I have that I'm definitely not playing while at work.
You wouldn't.
She hits third in my lineup. So
okay.
I have like Pete Wheeler, definitely not a fat. Then Pablo, then Keisha. So that's the top third of my lineup. So it's like, come on.
I was a big Mikey Thomas guy. Also a bit of a fat.
Yeah. Yes, that's fair. He's the one that now I look back at my team. I kind of wish I had taken him. Like he was like the first left off to me. It was either him or that Marquis Dubois or whatever it is. Like the guy who's supposed to be, the guy in the overalls who's supposed to fit that stereotype. He can't hit for shit. So
bumness.
Yeah, I really wish I hadn't chosen him and I'd chosen Mikey Thomas instead, but
I got so excited about this that I downloaded Steam. I paid for the game, went to play it and realized that it's not compatible with Mac. Macintosh computers.
Right.
So I had to write them and be like, hey, I didn't read anything and get my $8 back and then I got refunded very quickly. But I'm bummed because I can't play it. So
yeah, I know. I've got a Mac at home. Otherwise, I'd be playing that like
now.
Often. Yeah, like now. Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. Now, Stephanie Morgan at short. Let's go. Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok. This is really useless because I can't remember his name, but he plays backyard baseball with like a headband on. He's like super intense. He's like, "You want to catch the goddamn ball, Vicky?" He's like screaming at the players. If I can find it, I'll send it to you.
Okay,
it's great. He does it with like the Mario sports games too.
Nice.
It's like just massive overreaction from the backyard sports games. It's really funny.
That's awesome. Sam and I got so close. We have Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
We are one like Grand Prix away from having gold in all of them. I understand there's people that are like way better than us. They have all the stars and the whatever. Like we started the week with like 4 that we couldn't beat. Mind you, we're also smart. So it took us until now to realize you can look up the different stats of the different cars and the different tires and all that. So that helped. But that's just another one where it's like, A, there's nostalgia, but B, we're like so frustrated right now because it's like the one circuit that we can't beat. and we got Sam got so close the one time. I'm horrific at it. Like the best thing I can do is like save a first place shell for when someone
Someone good
jumps,
needs it.
yeah, someone cuts in front of her. Like the reason we didn't get the win the one time is because she was too close to the plan worked perfectly. I had the first place shell. Someone went around her, and I'm like, okay, boom, fire the thing. She was too close and was in the blast range.
Oh, in a blast radius. That's no good.
Yeah, that was rough.
Who's your go-to character?
Diddy Kong.
Okay, how about Sam?
Sam's Birdo.
Okay, see, I am in
the color,
these games.
The color of Birdo will depend on the day. And
Okay.
I'm like, so it's mood Birdo.
I like that you mix it up.
Yeah.
I'm a straight Mario guy. Like I just because it's just you want the balance.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of right down the middle, got some power, got some speed, you can kind of do everything.
Sure.
I'm an across the board Mario game guy.
Okay.
Just because I know it's consistent. I know what I'm getting every time.
Sure.
I do like is it Boney? The guy that like the turtle that is a
Dry
skeleton.
Bones or whatever.
Yeah, something
like that.
I like to be him sometimes too. And the piranha plant is pretty fun too.
Dude, the piranha plant I think is probably my favorite thing to get in the in the box.
Do you now? So I want to make sure Mario Kart 8 has released like at least 8 new tracks.
Yeah, we've got
you got the full package.
Yeah, so there's like 2 pages worth.
Yeah, I think there's like the Christmas one is on there, and there's okay. Just making sure.
Yep.
Before you say I got all the gold, I don't want to.
That's true.
To mislead people.
We've got all those. Believe me,
no stolen valor on this show.
If there was anything Christmas to be had, Sam would make sure we had it.
Oh, by the way,
no.
You know about my Aunt Jo and her annual Christmas tree trimming party? This is the last year.
Really?
I'm very upset. I mean, I get it. They're in their late 70s and it's 100 children they have to entertain. Ooh. I hope someone in our family like just picks up the ball and says, we got it. It'll never be the same as Aunt Jo's party, but this year we're going all out. I'm participating in everything. I'm going to be a little kid again. I'm going on the scavenger hunt. I'm doing all of it. I'm not just watching football this time. Nice. I got to get all the last moments in from Aunt Jo's Christmas party. Yeah. All right. Are we ready for Ask a Fat?
Let's do it.
Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been 1 week since my last confession.
Okay, my son. What is your confession?
I'm fat.
Ask a Fat is brought to you by our buddy, Charlie the Bacon Guy. And here he is with this week's Bacon Report.
Thanks, Jay. This week we have chorizo, giardiniera, ranch, maple pepper, Cajun, and jalapeno garlic. Most of those are 1 or 2 packs left, so get on it while it's still available. Bacon jams are the original and the bourbon. Going to make some more of that this week. And it's chili season. Jay just got 2 pounds of ground bacon.
Yes, I did.
So be like Jay. Get your ground bacon. I'm going to be smoking some Indiana farmer's pork belly this weekend. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we can't get some of that farmer bacon in stock for the next coming holiday season. For the Bacon Report, I'm Charlie the Bacon Guy.
All right, jump on that, charliethebaconguy.com. Get those last few packages of the weekly available bacon and start thinking about the holidays, gang. It's right around the corner. We're already at October 20th. Charlie, with the website and the growth of the company, is going to get slammed at the holidays. Don't wait. Make a plan. Remember, this bacon freezes up for, he says, 6 months in the freezer. I know for a fact I've had bacon longer than 6 months of his in the freezer, and it's perfect when it comes out. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about getting it too early. And if you get in touch with Charlie soon enough, he can schedule your pickup for you. You don't have to come and get it right away. If you say, hey, I want to pick this up, second week of December, I'm sure Charlie can make that happen. So get in touch with him. charliethebaconguy@gmail.com is his email, or just go to the website, charliethebaconguy.com. We have no voicemails today, which is fine. If you want to leave us one, the number is 708-858-3314. So that takes us to the emails.
Ask a Fat about this and that. It's time to chat with the Fats.
All right. As a gentle reminder to our fat audience, when you send an email, please, please, please pay attention to grammar and punctuation and spelling and stuff. Like it's getting to a critical mass here, like where I have to literally open my Grammarly and rewrite your emails. So
To be fair,
to be
this
fair,
podcast is about critical mass.
it is. It is. But please, just like look at the email before you hit send.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure there's like commas and periods and spaces and stuff in there. That would be very, very helpful. I'm not asking for like, honors English grammar, but just regular English would be helpful.
Yeah.
Nolan, who has our first email, is not one of the culprits here, for the record. Nolan says, I've been showing my 9-year-old some of the different halftime shows from the Super Bowl recently. Then I was showing him some of the hilarious commercials from yesteryear. I showed him the Budweiser frogs, the numerous Doritos commercials, etc. Do you have a favorite commercial from a Super Bowl? A favorite food commercial from a Super Bowl? My bad. Nolan says for him, it's the Tabasco sauce mosquito commercial. The guy's eating a pizza on the porch, adds Tabasco, the mosquito bites him, flies away, and explodes. It is so simple, yet so complex and genius. But I'll stop and wait until Wednesday night to hear your response. That must be when he listens. That's from Nolan. The mosquito one was the first one to come to mind.
Yeah, same here.
Because it was also, I wonder what year that was. I think was that like the late 90s, probably. Maybe the early 2000s, where like randomness was how comedy was.
Yeah.
Like Napoleon Dynamite. And remember like the Quiznos weird.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of the style of comedy, was like very minimalist. It wasn't like over the top, like it was all like weird. All the comedy was kind of weird. And that was right in that wheelhouse where it's just like these really Hill William looking people eating pizza, and that you don't really know where it's going, and just puts the Tabasco on there.
Yes.
It was very much part of that genre of comedy. The one I thought of was the Betty White Snickers commercial, where the guys are playing football. Like it's the "You're not you when you're hungry," and he's Betty White playing, flag football with his friends.
Yes.
And then Betty White's talking crap to the guy, and then takes a bite, morphs into the guy. But then they show the quarterback has turned into Abe Vigoda, who gets sacked.
Yes.
So I think that might have been the first "You're not you when you're hungry" commercial. Which was a great idea, a great bit, and the Betty White and Abe Vigoda one was awesome. That was one of my favorites.
One that came to mind for me, and I just needed to make sure it was a food one. This is from 2001. There was someone that had like figurine dolls that were getting destroyed that had annoying phrases on them, like that they would say, like, so the person's like, don't go there, $1, like just and then I think it ends with the person smashing I think your sister's pretty, and just like boom, just pay to smash those right there. And that was a Snickers commercial. I always thought that one was hilarious. I don't off the top of my head, I don't remember more of the phrases from it, but it was like very turn of the century, like perfect.
Yeah, turn of the century. Good wording. Jay mentions, I don't know if the paper mache Guinness brilliant guy started at the Super Bowl, but that's where my mind went. Also fits with Jay's weird comedy comments. Yeah, but I would imagine about the same time that commercial came out. So that was a good. The Snickers ones always hit right. Doritos are always creative. Yeah. And I remember when I was in like 6th grade when they started the Bud Bowl. Where the beer bottles would play football. I was so fascinated with that. That I took my Trapper Keeper, cut it, took all the Screaming Eagle or Airplane, whatever I had in there, and just added all the Bud Bowl ads. I got in big trouble at school for having beer ads on my Trapper Keeper.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think of it that way. I just thought, this is cool. This is a cool thing. And I was just enamored by the way they were pulling it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good. It's hard to think, but the Snickers ones really stood out.
That with the school thing made me think of one day, or maybe it was for like a period of time, my mom didn't realize like what hat I was. I just knew I had a hat when I was leaving the house. The problem was it was a Schlitz hat.
Oh,
so I was wearing a Schlitz hat to work. So I can only imagine what teachers and everybody was thinking about my family at that time.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
So, yeah, whatever.
It's a hat. Keeps the head warm or something.
Yep. All right, this one's from Gabe. Hi, Rick and Jay. This is New York Gabe. I just got out of Olive Garden with their never-ending pasta promotion. I was wondering what the house record is for you guys and your friends for the most eaten plates during this event. Afterward, I think I might have invented a new entry into March Fatness. Automated shopping carts after a big meal to shop and get around. Sorry, it's such a long story. See you, Fats. Gabe.
So I did have to edit Gabe's a little bit. So he was saying that they were so full after Olive Garden, they went to the grocery store and got on the Rascals to grocery shop.
Yeah.
Which is, I've not done that. I've been tempted.
Yes.
But I've not done
tempted.
it. Actually, I probably did it in high school and then got yelled at immediately and stopped doing it. But that, yeah, we've had Rascal Scooters on there on March Fatness before, but I do think that the motorized shopping cart,
that's smart.
We'll throw that one on there for sure.
Yeah.
As for Olive Garden, to this day, 46 years old, 47 in December, never been.
Ooh, you're old.
Shut up. But it's true.
I've been, and I've done the never ending pasta bowl, but it's like, you know, you don't, I don't know. I've never
How
gone.
much can you do?
I mean, you can do as many as you want, I guess. But like for me,
but it's pasta. I mean,
yeah,
it is designed to fill you up.
I think I've done 3.
Yeah,
so
that seems about right.
Like 3 sounds about right. And when you consider the massive amount of breadsticks I will also be eating with that, sure.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry. It's just one of those where I don't know, man. When you got enough like decent actual Italian food options, you don't need to go down that route.
Yeah, and it's nothing against it. You know,
sure.
I always push back when people are like, "Why would you go to Taco Bell when we've got, El Milagro?" It's like I'm not deciding between the two.
Right.
But my problem too with any sort of like, how many of these can you eat? Is I eat way too fast.
Yeah.
So I go from hungry to full in like a heartbeat. I don't pace myself, so I always do poorly at those things.
You're always like swallowing a bunch of air.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why you're burping during the podcast.
For as much as I love it, correct. Actually, I'm burping from my 7-Up Shirley Temple.
Ooh, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's good. I treat eating like a task. As much as I love to eat, I'm a very task-oriented person. Like, I have to finish this. Now I have to finish this. Now it is time for this. Now it is time for this. And I'm not good at getting like knocked off my path or like, so I'll be at a table of people eating. They'll be conversating. I'm just like, I don't hear anything being said because I'm eating. And Hope's like, yeah, we talked about this several times. I'm like, was I eating? Because I heard nothing. All I heard was chewing.
Yeah.
Chewing and burping. That's all I heard the whole time. All right, we got one more email to get to. Again, if you want to email us, I'm fatpod@gmail.com. I like this question from Michael. He says, I've been traveling a decent amount recently, and inevitably when visiting the touristy spots of each city, you find yourself in the standard tourist trap hub that every city has. For example, like Navy Pier, these places always have the same type of staple restaurants: Johnny Rockets, Margaritaville, Buca di Beppo, etc. I was curious what your top touristy restaurant would be if you were forced to eat at one. Yeah, one, Rick? Mine's on his list. I love Margaritaville. I don't even care. It's good-ass food, good-ass drinks. If I see a Margaritaville, I want to stop. Usually I have to convince people. Part of it is that I like Jimmy Buffett from like the 70s.
Right.
That's kind of it. But
we only play 80s Billy Joel.
We were showing Addie's stepbrothers today for the first time.
Oh God, she never seen it.
No,
oh,
and I completely forgot about the Chris Gardocki made me lick white dog shit scene. Like, it's so dumb.
Yes.
Shut your mouth, essay. That little girl yelling at him. Oh my God, that scene is ridiculous.
So good.
But she was like, anytime we show Addie anything, she kind of pretends like she doesn't like it, but she was laughing hard at Step Brothers, which is great.
How do you not?
No, you don't. But yes, I'm a sucker for Margaritaville, man. I love it.
I'm trying to think of the last time. I'm trying to think of like those types of places. I haven't had them for a long time because for a long time I just straight up didn't travel. And then recently. You know what? I will say Margaritaville too, because remember there used to be one in Lombard, right off of 355 in Finley.
Incorrect. That was Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Oh, that's
It's the same thing though.
whatever.
It was partly owned by Jimmy Buffett, and he
Yeah.
actually played there. Don't you know Johnny Rustler? Yes, Johnny. Okay,
because John. So one of the guys in Johnny's band, Tom Rucker, was my roommate sophomore through senior years of college. Literally, like one of my best friends for a good long while. So that and my other buddy Tyler played steel pan in that band for a while.
So for the people that don't know Johnny Rustler,
Mhm.
Johnny is in one of the Johnny Rustler and the Beach Bum Band is one of the premier. They're not a Buffett cover band. They're Buffett inspired, and they do play some covers, but they do write their own Buffett-esque kind of music. I went to college with Johnny. Johnny's the first guy to ever put me on a radio in any way, shape, or form, because we both like Jimmy Buffett, and we both he wanted me to talk about the Hawks on his show. So still keep in touch. But yeah, so anyway, long story boring. Jimmy Buffett played with Johnny and his band at Cheeseburger in Paradise. In what is it? On what town is that? Downers Grove?
It may technically be Downers, but it's like Butterfield. It's like just off of 355, like Butterfield and Finley.
I remember when he died, when Jimmy Buffett died, Johnny shared the footage. And it was from CLTV.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. Small world.
Yeah.
So funny that we know those same people.
Yeah, there were definitely a couple times when I was in broadcasting school and we were working on TV projects and we were ahead of where we should have been. There could have been times where we were supposed to be out getting B-roll or interviewing people, even though we'd already done that stuff. We may have ended up at Cheeseburger in Paradise and come back to the school feeling better than we did when we went in. Used to say
it's a good place. Did you ever name your place? I'm sorry, I got distracted by our Johnny Rustler conversation.
I don't think I did. I'm trying to think of. Johnny Rockets has nostalgia for me because when I was in San Jose in 2004, that was for the oh God, what bowl was it? I actually finally forgot the name of the bowl game. The Poinsettia Bowl was
Silicon Valley Bowl.
Silicon Valley Football Classic. Yes, that was it. NIU versus Troy. Troy had DeMarcus Ware on that team. And on that trip was a bunch of people who ended up being some of my best friends to this day were there. At that point, I had kind of kept to myself a lot, like myself and my roommate my first semester. And I was literally walking around like San Jose because I just wanted to go somewhere by myself in a little bit of rain. And they called me into Johnny Rockets to have dinner and hang out with them, and pretty much hung out with them ever since through college.
Nice. All right, there you go.
So I guess that's mine. It's not a great answer from the food perspective, but in terms of like when I think of those types of places, that's what I think of.
Good pick. Johnny Rockets is good. There's still one in Bolingbrook, I think.
I think so.
That's the last time I had it. It
was
damn good. Good shit.
All right. So follow us on all of our social media at I'm Fat Pod. I'm Fat Pod at gmail.com. Check out Spotify, Patreon if you like, and I'm fatmerch.com. Check out, see what the sale is this moment. If there's not one at the moment that you're listening to this, check in a few hours. There will probably be one later. YouTube.com/I'm Fat Podcast. Subscribe, like each video. Hopefully you've already done that and you're watching us when we're live here on Sunday nights, at least as it's going to be more often than not, depending on our schedules. And then you can subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, and resubscribe to the regular podcast feed. Leave the all 5-star rating and review. And the best thing you can do is check out our sponsors: Charlie the Bacon Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, Fredo's Culinary Kitchen, and Nick and Ivy Brewing. So for Jay, I'm Rick, and this is the I'm Fat Podcast.
French toast, grilled cheese, and ham sandwich.
All right. I have to